It is so crazy because as you start going to the gym and you start losing weight or putting on weight and put on muscle and this and that, you start caring more about your diet naturally because you're obviously trying to get in the best shape possible. You don't want to, like, for me, for a long time I was eating like shit, and then I was going to the gym and just working it off, but I was working really hard. Like, my workouts were like 2-3 hours. I still do cardio every day because I just don't have really good eating habits because when I was younger I was fat. I haven't been able to develop self-control and like eating, so I still eat big meals. Sometimes I'll snack a lot, and it took me a lot of different things to like start really cutting down. Like, I had to cut out TV shows. I had to stop watching YouTube while eating. I had to stop going shopping so frequently and stuff of that nature, right? And it's like, these are things that you'll realize over time. But one of the most beneficial things, like, F all the types of diets. There's like carnivore diet, keto, and all that. All that shit is bullshit. I'm telling you that right now. It's all just ways to market a specific diet so that you can buy more of the product. So like carnivore, so meat sellers can sell more meat, or keto, so the vegetables or whatever the fuck they eat can be sold more or whatever, right? But one of the best things that I've done so far is fasting, right? And bro, fasting helps so much because a lot of us eat not because we're hungry, but because we're bored, and it's something we're accustomed to doing. It's like stimulation. It gives you some dopamine if you eat something like tasty, like chocolate, or a favorite food of yours. So I found myself, every time that I would watch YouTube or a TV show, I'd be like, oh, I want something to snack on. It's like, no, you don't. You're just bored, right? The show is not stimulating enough, or your hands are too free or whatever. And but fasting, when you tell yourself, okay, I'm gonna fast, I'm only gonna drink water, or even cut out water sometimes, right? It helps you so much because now you have a rule to stick to, a law. And if you have self-control and you have discipline within yourself, and you are someone who trusts yourself and doesn't want to go against his own word, like, a lot of people have a struggle where they'll tell themselves something and they don't do it, right? So they have bad self-trust, and it's something you need to build. And the best way to build it is by doing small things. So it'll be like, okay, today I'm going to get up at 10 o'clock and actually get up at 10 o'clock. Today I'm going to read 10 pages and actually read those 10 pages. I'm going to take a cold shower and take the cold shower. And if you keep telling yourself things and you actually act upon them, you build self-trust. But if you tell yourself something and you don't do it, your self-trust goes down, 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 right? And then it's hard for you to be disciplined within yourself. So build it up slowly and then take on bigger tasks, right? So I told myself I'm not going to eat. I was going to the gym and I was like, putting on muscle, this and that, but I was getting fatter every week, right? I track my weight every week. And I was like, why am I getting fatter? Because I've been in good shape before, and then I bulked or whatever, right? And so I know how to cut and how to bulk easily. Bulking is a lot more easier for me. But when I'm cutting, I always make sure I increase my cardio. My workouts are long. I'm trying to eat less, right? And I was doing all of that, but I was still gaining weight. And I believe it's because, like, at my job I'm sitting around for 8 hours, while compared to like when I was like in really good shape, I was unemployed. So I was just drinking coffee when I was waking up late in the morning, and I was only eating like once. I was eating like Chipotle every day. I think in May of 2022, I had Chipotle 28 times out of 30 days. It was, or 31 days. It was nuts. They gave me like an award for it. But nonetheless, you have to be able to fast, because I think it's the best form of diet if you want to cut. For bulking, obviously don't fast because you need to be eating as much as you can. If anything, if you want to bulk, just eat fatty foods and eat a lot of protein and try to drink a lot of stuff. That would be my best tips for if you want to bulk. I never had problems with bulking. It just happened naturally. I just eat a lot of junk food, which is not the best way, but it is the easiest way. But for cutting, I made myself not eat anything till 1 p.m. And this is when I was getting up at like 7, 8 a.m. And that like gap of like, even if though I was hungry, I told myself no. I told myself I'm gonna fast, so I'm gonna fast, right? So I would do nothing besides drink water, and every now and then I would have a coffee. But that was, a liquid's not gonna fill me up or nothing. I was still hungry, but and even then I didn't even drink the coffee that often. But that 5-hour gap, and then I would eat around 3, and then I would go to the gym and I wouldn't eat again until like 9, 10, right? So I was only eating twice, and that meal at 3 p.m. was a small meal because I knew I had to go to the gym. And then the one at 9 was a little bit bigger, but I made it not so big because I was gonna go to sleep, and I don't like eating and having a big tummy before sleeping, right? That, I don't know if it's a myth, but apparently that's bad or not. But cause I read that it wasn't, but a lot of people say it is. Nonetheless, right? And then when I started doing that, I started cutting like crazy, and I was losing like 2-3 pounds every week. And then when I started really fasting, I lost 5 pounds a week, which isn't healthy, but it was because I was like really, really fasting. I wasn't even eating the 3 p.m. meal. I was only eating at like 7 for Ramadan, and then again like 12. But again, there were small meals too, and they were relatively healthy. And it's like, because I built this like self-trust within myself, I'm able to restrict myself from eating like certain junk foods or oily foods. Or the only thing I really struggle with right now is portions. So like a regular portion is so small, and if I were to eat regular portions, it would not work, because I would just never be full. Like even like for cereal, rice, and like, so, but not only do I eat bigger than average proportions, but I eat like double or triple. Like it's really bad, and that's what I'm trying to control. Like I know I'm gonna eat more than the average portion, because that's just fucking insane. Like if you read on the back of the label what a regular portion is, like what the fuck, nobody's eating that little amount. I'm not a fucking 5-year-old child. But I just make sure I eat a regular amount and I work it out, right? And I make sure my workouts always include cardio, strength training, and stuff like that, and it allows me to burn more like while I'm sleeping, because muscle burns calories, and the more muscle that you have, the more calories you burn. But you need to try fasting if you really want to cut, and just set it small. Like at first, make it like, for me, it was, I knew that the problem was me eating in the morning, because I kept eating like muffins and stuff like that. And the whole idea of breakfast, and breakfast being the most important meal, was a whole marketing campaign too. So forget that shit, right? The idea of breakfast makes no sense. It's like, first thing you do when you wake up is like, oh my God, I'm so hungry, let me go eat. It's like, I felt like I remember Andrew Tate talked about it, and I was like, he's kind of true. Like, how can you wake up and the first thing you think about is food? Like, you got mad shit to do. You're talking about, oh, I need to go eat, I need to go cook some food. It's like, stop being a bitch, right? Just relax, right? So I will wake up 8 a.m. around like 11 or 12. I would be hungry. If you get hungry, for me, coffee's a appetite suppressant. For some people, they said it's the opposite. I don't know. For me, that's what I read online. It works for me. So if I get really, really hungry at 11:30, 12, I'll drink a coffee. And then at 1, I know I can eat. I'll just drink some water, and then at 3 p.m. I'll eat. And it's going to be really hard at first. You're going to feel like shit. Your head's going to hurt. Your stomach's going to be growling. But once you do it for like 2 or 3 days, your body gets accustomed to it, and then you start feeling amazing, because you're not like eating for no reason, and you're not making your body feel lethargic. You have a lot more mental clarity. You're able to work so much more, because you're not distracted by the idea of just checking the fridge, let me eat a snack. And then you're like, you also like move away from like watching TV shows and like spending all your time doing bullshit. And then like your secretion cycle is better. Like pooping, oh my God, like once I get my fasting in check, my pooping cycle gets so good. And once you like are properly cleaning out your body, your skin gets better, you feel better, you don't feel tired all the time, your sleeping gets better. I'm telling you, there's so much benefits to fasting. You just need to get yourself to that little hard point of doing it, and then watch how better everything gets. Everything in dealing with your diet, your sleep, your skin, everything. Try fasting. And I know you're gonna say, be like, oh, it's super hard. Again, do it in small steps, and just get some self-control, get some self-trust, and watch how much easier it gets and how beneficial it is.